It is now the end of January, so I've been reviewing my goals and thinking about like how things went, and my girlfriend rated my goal setting and follow through as a 10 out of 10 last night at our dinner. But one of the coolest things that I started at the beginning of this year was this goal of doing less than 1 hour per day of screen time on my phone. So this is a death machine, and I'm sure most of us agree with that. And just the amount of attention and time and energy and stress that these things suck out of our lives, I was like, I need to cut down on my screen time. So I embarked on this ambitious adventure of finishing the month, at least, with less than one. Actually, I think it was a yearly goal. I wanted to set a yearly goal, spending less than 1 hour per day on my phone. And now at the end of January, I'm happy to say that I'm like really close. This last week, I hit 1 hour and 5 minutes per day average. And that's just because on Sunday, I ended up doing a lot of stuff on my phone. So it's been like super sick, like for real. The impact that this has had on a lot of things in my life has been pretty profound, with just like cutting down on the phone addiction. This one focus that has like branched into a lot of different areas. So if you're like me and you're like, yo, this thing is probably ruining my life, how do I get away from it? Why should I get away from it? I think the how is a different thing. I don't really want to talk about that. You can figure out that. But I wanted to talk about like kind of the impact that it's had on me, and maybe give you some why that it's important. So first things first, the coolest thing that being off my phone has done is just giving me more freedom. And it's been this like really special thing where I used to I've been on this journey for a while now, and like I think all of us have. We're going to delete Instagram for a while, and then we get it back, and then all of a sudden we're like scrolling all the time, or TikTok, God forbid, is like insane, or just like opening your phone for no freaking reason, just because you're like at the grocery store sitting in line, you like flip out your phone, right? Like it's this crazy addiction. And I've been on this journey of cutting it down. So I used to like sleep with my phone in the car. So every night I would go to my car, lock it in the glove box, go inside. And it was one of the biggest hacks that I had, because it created this feeling of like freedom from getting like tied to your phone. So like when you wake up in the morning, the alarm's on it, you see it, you're like drawn to it. You know, you're like, do I have messages? Do I have texts? Like whatever it is. And our brain, someone told me that if our phones are like within 25 feet of us, that our brain is like thinking about it all the time, right? And so I was like, okay, sweet. Well, I can like put it in the car. And so I put it in the car and like often not touch it until like 11 in the morning, noon, something like that. And it was really freeing to just like have this weight lifted. But then I would go get it and the weight would be back. So I'd be like tied to it, where I'd be like driving and I would see it and like grab it at a stoplight, or, you know, I'm like working and I see it buzz and I'm like grabbing it, or sitting on the toilet with it, like all the time, right? We're just like connected to our phones, and it's like creating this energy. So what's now amazing is that because I'm like off my phone, I don't have that connection. So like my phone, I have it on the table and it's just like sitting here on the table, and my brain like isn't thinking about it while I'm sitting here, and I can like wake up in the morning and like go about my day, and it's like not in the car, and I can like feel free of checking it. I'm like the stress, maybe not like fully free, but a lot more free. And so when I'm driving, I don't want to check it at the light. When I'm going to the bathroom, I don't want to check it while I'm on the toilet. When I'm just walking around the house, it's not like drawn to me, which just all around feels super good. And what that does, first of all, it just is like a weight off in a lot of ways. But that mind space that my phone is like taking up is eliminated, and is getting filled with kind of some cool new things. Like there's space that created the phone got yanked apart, it created a vacuum, and the vacuum is getting filled with creativity and, you know, writing notes in my little journal, like I have ideas, or when I go on a walk, like all these ideas. And inspiration is getting filled. So that's been like a really cool general feeling. Not being addicted and on my phone all the time, cutting down like 2 hours or more per day, has also made me like super productive. So on one hand, I'm just in generally productive. This is my whiteboard right here, and it's just been an awesome like productivity deal. Like I have all my stuff on it, and I'm just feeling like super productive in general. But I think like when you're working on your computer, your phone lights up and you touch it, you put it down, you think about it. You know, it's like phone, screen, phone, screen, phone, screen. It's like screen, 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 screen. We always have all these screens. So my productivity for sure has gotten better. So is it the whiteboard? Is it time blocking my calendar? Is it not having a phone? Probably all the above, honestly. But undoubtedly, the distraction of my phone has plummeted. So I'm still working on this. I think I picked it up 90 times per day last week. I'll have to check. I'm kind of tracking it. What's really cool inside of screen time on your phone, it tracks all this stuff. So it tells you like which apps you use the most and how many pickups and what your notifications are and like all this, all these things. So you can actually like track your data pretty easily. So I'm wanting to, kind of just continue this journey and keep cutting it down. Okay, so this is actually like the third thing that I'm about to share is kind of the weirdest one. That's hard to explain because it's a feeling. I don't have any data around it, but really like time has slowed down. My January has been creeping and crawling. Like, it's amazing. Last year, it felt like I just blinked and the year was gone. And this year, honestly, I'm like looking at the calendar. I'm like, oh my God, it's still January. That's crazy. Like, and it just feels like time has been creeping, honestly. Like I feel like I have so much time. I feel like I'm so productive. I feel like I have so much time at the end of the day. I feel like between yesterday and today, there's a lot of time. Like time really, and I'm like a time guy. I have a hourglass tattooed on me. I think about time all the time. Like I think about how fast time goes, how little time we have left, the time with people. Like timing is a big thing for me. So this is a big one, and it honestly is like reason enough. Like time is our most finite resource. So by cutting down on your phone, try it out. I don't know if it works for you. Like I said, maybe it's time blocking, maybe it's all the other priorities that I'm doing really well at, maybe like anything, but undoubtedly like not being on my phone has had an impact on how I perceive time. And that's a reason enough to keep going and reason enough to keep decreasing my usage. As far as my usage goes, I pretty much do like 40 minutes a day on messages. So most of my communication happens on messages. Another one of my goals for this year was to be a better friend. And so I've been doing that. And so I've been sending a lot of voice notes, voice messages, a lot of texting, videos for people's birthdays, things like this that are aligned with my other goals. So sometimes that requires phone usage and I'm cool with it, but I kind of block it in, I'm like, cool, I'm going to pick up my phone, do a bunch of stuff back to back to back to back, and then I'm going to put it down. And, it feels really good. And I'm still not at an hour or sub 1 hour, but I'm pretty close. Now, I have a little bit of a hack here is that I have my computer. So my computer is connected to my iMessage, my WhatsApp, my email, things like this. So I have really like access to a lot of my communications on here. So maybe I'm like conscious of, I'm gonna not respond to this message on my phone because I can respond to it on my computer. How much of a decrease is that in one time and not the other? I don't know. So I'm like a little bit arbitraging time, screen time. However, I think that it's a gross positive in the end because I'm on my computer anyway. Like if I'm responding to a text here versus here, that's distraction and that's splitting attention. So I'm cool with just like staying focused here, even if I'm doing it. And also, it's working towards my goal of less screen time. So there's like some like wiggle room within all this that it's like, I don't know, like, is it actually less screen time or am I just using more on one than the other? I really don't think that's the case. I'm going to start tracking my computer screen time better and focusing on that. I don't know exactly know what that looks like, but that's cool that like my phone screen time has now led into like computer screen time being different. So, um, I feel like I'm always drinking tea in my videos. So, anyway, this is like a recap for less screen time. January. This felt freaking awesome. I highly suggest you do it. And I'm going to keep doing it. So I'm actually going on a trip tomorrow. I'm going to Guatemala tomorrow. And I'm not taking my phone at all. I'm leaving it in the glove box at the airport. I'm taking off without a phone, which is sick. Have you ever traveled without a phone? When's the last time you traveled without a phone? Do you ever even have the opportunity to travel without a phone? Probably all of that is never, a long ass time ago, or probably will never happen again. So I kind of have, to a set of circumstances, I'm able to not have my phone, so I'm not bringing it. I'm just gonna bring this and all my camera gear and my journals, and we're gonna be phoneless on this trip and probably for the rest of the year. And try it out. Let me know what you think.